Hi, we are now going to talk about building a new culture and how to build a new culture. And with me is David Sherez, who is super interesting human being, and I'm very excited to have this conversation. So first, I'll introduce you, David. So David is a social entrepreneur. He is the co-founder of Venn, the that transforms urban neighborhoods into vibrant communities. He's also the founding partner of Selena, which is building the world's largest hospitality platform for digital nomads. And the reason why he's here today is because he is the founder of the Garden of Life, which is a playground for Game V realization, which we're going to talk about. But he's also the father of Naomi and Asaf.
That's the first thing.
That's the first, that's the most important thing. Yeah, David, so let's just dive right in, and maybe share with us, how did you get to this idea of a Garden of Life, and maybe what is the Garden of Life?
Okay. Good morning, Arava, and good morning to all the people that are listening and watching us here
Or good
now,
evening, or good night, or
in the future as well. Um, and thank you for the kind introduction. Um, I will start by telling my story and how I got to the vision of Garden of Life. So throughout my life, um, I was always exploring the connection between the spiritual side, the values that are leading our lives, and the very practical, down to earth living. Um, and in all the initiatives that I started, even as like a young teenager, it was always about this connection and finding the right balance. And I think that it took me 15 years of a lot of initiatives, communities, cooperatives, startup, to really understand that there is a very special relationship between the life manifestations, like the life force and the way we bring it to reality, the way we realize it, and the structures that are holding this, like meaning the structure where we live in, could be the culture, the economy, the governance. And so as I was working on myself and walking my path and becoming more connected to who I am and accepting myself, and by that accepting others, and also learning about boundaries and how to communicate them well, and knowing what are my desires and what are my fears. So I saw that, and also a lot of my friends as well, we all went into some kind of transformation and development, but still we were very much connected and even constrained by the environment we were living in. Meaning that when there is no strong alignment between the values, the structure, the culture, and the way that we want to live, it will be very hard to change our consciousness, to change the mindset. And this was my experience. I founded a couple of companies with beautiful visions, very close to the vision of Garden of Life. They were all about sharing the values, sharing the power, sharing the abundance. Could be money, could be emotions, could be creation. And in every initiative, in every company, in every community, there was always misalignment or unspoken things around the core beliefs about value, about money, about partnership, about sexuality, about the environment, about a lot of things that are very important for the lives that we want to live. And so I understood that what we need to create is actually a new environment. And if we look at our reality like a game, so we can ask ourselves, what is the goal of this game? and what are the rules of the game, and what kind of behavior this game that we are playing is actually encouraging. So let's call the game that we are playing now in the Western world game A. So this game, we can describe it as like a game that encourages maximization of single interest. Could be profit, GDP, growth, whatever. A zero-sum game, meaning that either I win and you lose, or I lose and you win. So it brings a mindset of separation, of scarcity. And these are actually the basic assumptions of the economy. I studied economy in university, and I was so surprised that like we are building the whole concept of economy based on that. And so I want to imagine, and let's us imagine together now in this conversation, the people that are listening now, let's imagine another game. Let's call it game B, a game that encourages collaboration, that encourages trust, that encourages togetherness, that encourages finding the win-win situation and optimizing life instead of maximizing profit. Optimizing life meaning taking in consideration not only the money that we are getting, or the power that we are getting, or the respect that we are getting, but also expanding to future generations, to environment, to our community, and actually expanding the consciousness, but also expanding the responsibility by doing that. And I believe, and also there's a lot of research about it, and other culture, I'm looking a lot into indigenous cultures about it, and you can see that eventually, when you're optimizing this way, everybody gains. So everybody can enjoy life and connect to the life that we actually aspire to live. So we don't want to work 80% of our lives to get the money to use it for the 20% that we are got left to enjoy. And we can see also that game A, if we look at it as a game or as an equation, so something is broken there. Although we have a lot of benefits, even this conversation that we are holding online is one of the fruits of this beautiful culture that or civilization that we've built. But eventually we got to a certain point where something is broken. If we want, as a species, as humanity, to keep prosper on Earth and other planets, maybe, then we need to upgrade and update our operating system that consists of the culture, the economy, the governance, and the way that we live. Because we are ruining the environment, and like it's obvious, our society is dramatically unequal. We are, as people, like generally more depressed, more alone. And so if we look inside and we ask ourselves, like, why are we living for, and what is the life that we want to imagine for ourselves and for our kids, we understand that we need to upgrade and update something here. So going back to what is Garden of Life. So Garden of Life, you can look at it as a playground, a living laboratory, an experiment, a bridge between game A that we know and we can describe to game B that we are unfamiliar yet with. A lot of people wrote interesting things, a lot of discussions are about it around the world, some initiatives that are starting to realize it, but we have a long way ahead of us. And so Garden of Life want to serve this way to realize what Garden of Life can be, and also to create a global community where sovereign people can join together and play this new game. And while playing it, actually discovering what is this new game, what are the values that we want our lives to be governed by, and how can we align the structures to support this behavior, to support these values. So, and maybe a more concrete explanation of Garden of Life. So it's a network of big lands that we are purchasing as a collective, as a cooperative, owned by the community, connected with an economy. Could be a crypto token economy, but the core principle is that we have our own economy, and within this economy we can design the behaviors, we encourage behaviors and also we can kind of code into the economy the values. And also we have a governance system, a distributed one, something that is invites people to share power and to engage and to choose actually how they want to live. And in these lands, the people that are part of this community can come for short term and longer term, live there even their whole lives, and experience this way of living, being more connected to nature, more connected to people, educating ourselves, and kind of uh, getting some kind of rehab from this game A mindset that we are all like immersed in it. Like eventually we are all triggered, we are all designed to think that we are better than, or someone is better than us and we should listen. So finding back our inner authority, our inner responsibility, and actually be sovereign to all the extent that it means. But the global community, like the broader community, people that are unable to come to the land or coming just for a short time, can also experience this because we are designing a culture. We're designing content and experience and discussions that actually enable us to bring these values into our game A reality. Because eventually, I don't think that game B is utopia. You know, it's not like this heaven that we can imagine and everyone is flying and smiling all the time. I think it's very similar to what we are experiencing now as game A, but something in the core of the values and of the behavior, the way we educate our children, what is important in our culture. This is the difference, and it makes the whole difference actually. So that's in a nutshell, game Garden of Life, and how I came up with it.
Wow. Yeah, so I want to ask because there is actually, there's a lot of people who are talking about game A and game B, and I wanted maybe to focus on what's unique about Garden of Life. Unlike a lot of different initiatives that are happening now. So what do you see as the that is different, not better or worse, but is different in Garden of Life? And
so I think many ways to get to this game B. And I think that each community or each group or each initiative takes the flavor, the style, the way that the people that are building it and co-creating it wanted to happen. So we can see it's not a new thing. We can learn a lot from communities that already exist. We can look at Tamera and Damenhor and Neot Smadar in Israel and Pachamama and many other communities that built a community around values and wanted to imagine a better world and to be like an example for that. How can we live differently? So a lot of these communities, they have a very strong leader, sometimes a guru, sometimes a ceremony in the middle, an ideology. Not always, but many times to have this community very strong. The request from people that are coming, because it's a small community usually and a very dense one, is to leave the life behind and come and live. And there is another thing that I learned from my experience is that many of these communities are focusing inwards, creating this kind of bubble where everything can work the way they want, but eventually not really touching and influencing the global things, and having some shadows around money and power and sexuality. I don't think that we won't face these kind of challenges, but I want to suggest that the new generation of initiatives that are now trying to realize this game B are looking outwards now. So it means that are not afraid to engage with money and power and building bigger communities with structures that can support hundreds of thousands or millions of people I can just like give a little inspiration to read the book written by Balaji, The Network State, that talks about like a new kind of entity of human organization. It's a network state. I would call it a value-centric state. It's not national. It's not territorial. It's a different kind of organization. So I think that the new initiatives in Garden of Life, as part of it, are building the infrastructure for this, for a scalable network of or federation of communities that want to live life differently, and they want to have an economy, because the economy eventually is a reduction of the culture. And you can talk about a lot of things, but the economy really kind of drill them into reality. So we need to touch that. We need to be able to hold power and money at scale, to engage with the other powers and money of the world, and not to be small and to influence, and to be able to influence. And this will take a lot of time, I believe. So we need to have this vision, and also to have our center to do that. And I think Garden of Life, what's special about Garden of Life, first of all, is that it's a cooperative. It's not a startup. It's not a company. No one owns it. We are owning it together. So it's not no one owns it. The community owns it together from day one. I learned a lot about the kind of money that you put inside. So the money has kind of resonance. So as someone that raised a lot of money from venture capital funds for my startups, I see that eventually it doesn't matter what we say. The money has a goal, and the goal of the money of the venture capital is to grow quickly. We are taking a more permaculture approach for the growth or the prosperity or development of Garden of Life. So that's also a special thing, I believe. And we see it as an experiment. We are not coming with answers. We're coming with questions. We are coming with ideas that we want to explore and experiment. We are bringing a lot of playfulness into it. So it's a game. We're not too serious about it. We might change the world, but we're not coming with all the pathos to change the world. And another thing that I think is important and interesting is that we are going directly to a land. So we're not staying in the airy discussion area.
It's
And,
not
and
a philosophical discussion.
exactly. And it's not like an online community only. We are going to the land because we want to play and to have friction with life. And to do that, we need a place where we can live and we can create an holistic environment that touches all these points. Because, you need the friction with life, you need to live it in order to really realize it. And so I think, and the invitation for people, and that you are listening here, maybe you are the next people to join us, the invitation is actually to come and to explore, not to make a decision that you are moving to Garden of Life, to come for 1 week for our like intro workshop, to come for our online meetings or our community events, and then to play with it and see, maybe stay for we have a 1 month program and then 3 months program. And eventually after a year on the land that could spread over 5 years even, I think you'll know, like we will know if we want to live there. And then we can become citizens, and then we can have a fractional ownership on the land. And so we can see a future there. We can develop it. We can have kids. We can develop our businesses. And I think that when I kind of start imagining and going with this future, I see a place where we can express ourselves authentically, bring our energies to the places that they are flowing naturally. So bring our gifts, create in this place, create businesses, create ideas, write books, make love, plant trees, and eventually get what we need in order to live. And I think that it leads us to another aspect of it, which is the economy itself. So we are creating an economy that is I call it a household economy. So the whole Garden of Life is like a household, an extended family. It's not like a market economy. In a market economy, there are people that are clients, that are people that are shareholders, investors. There are people that are the product. There are people that are serving. And it creates a certain relationship, and it creates a certain polarity that I look at this polarity. On one side, I would put the essence, the values, the sacredness of what we are doing. And on the other side, I would put instrumentality or using or I'm better than mentality. Meaning that in the market economy, um, the relationship is that I'm using nature, I'm using the other person, or I'm being used, and it creates a certain dynamic. Whereas in Garden of Life, in the household economy, in the extended family, we are all together supporting ourselves like indigenous tribes to live the best life that we can and we want and we imagine while sharing and having like the basic ground of universal basic income and time to educate and work on ourselves, because this is actually the main thing that a community and a culture needs to focus on in order to be able to live together, and also to share the fruits that we are creating. And I think that, you know, in the past, there were some ideologies that came with these ideas. I think the main ones that are familiar from the 26th century are the socialism and communism. And I think that first they were ideologies. They believe that what they think is the best thing, and we need to do like a revolution. I think that today, based on the experience from the past, but also with the new mindset, the new connectedness that we have globally, we are exposed. We see the game. We see what's behind, and we also have the tools now to collaborate at scale. Web3, Bitcoin, token economies, and other means of communication as well, and collective sense making and decision making. All these things allow us to play with the components of this sharing economy to an extent where we leave enough space for entrepreneurship, for profit for the self, for this passion and hunger to create, and also to keep the values of collaboration, of trust, of making sure that no one is left behind, of encouraging people not to maximize and not to look at themselves as a single cell separated from the others, taking care of themselves, but actually to expand and to see ourselves as something that is connected, as a web, as an organism, and actually living this way. So I can go a lot deeper, and that's what we're doing actually in Garden of Life. But I think for now, that's enough for this.
Yeah. I just do want to clarify that basically the idea of Garden of Life is not necessarily to have like people won't work in Garden of Life. It's I think that's something that is important to clarify.
Yes, that's true. So we're inviting people to come to Garden of Life, and to do their own thing for their living. Some of the people could find themselves working in Garden of Life, supporting the community and the land and everything. That's true. And getting some of their salary in fiat, meaning like a local currency, and some of it in tokens, in the gold tokens, Garden of Life economy tokens. But we encourage people to be sovereign and independent, also financially, and take responsibility for that. And I think that Garden of Life will be a great hub and a very fertile land to develop these things. I have a very good experience from other ventures that I did, and mostly Venn, where people that came and became community members in these neighborhoods started developing this circular economy and opened small businesses, developed their art, developed their skills, and did a lot of beautiful things that are still exist, and they live from it. So I think that that's what will happen in Garden of Life. Some of the people will work remote, some of the people will create something locally, and a lot of things are unknown yet and will be discovered.
Yeah. I want to share that we are recording this uh, in December 22nd, 2022. And also to say that there is a land in Greece that we are hopefully going to be together in the next summer coming. And maybe if you want to share a few words about that.
Yes. So what's happening in Garden of Life? So we started about a year ago, meeting, talking, playing, exploring, doing some events in a small community, and gradually developing the concept, writing a paper, realizing Garden of Life, which is like the basic paper of the concept, of the vision, starting to think about the practical sides of it, holding workshops, intro workshops for people that want to be part of it and kind of learn more about it, but also to experience what we are talking about, this new culture and what is Game B, and to expose our deep beliefs and the beliefs that are sometimes holding us back, our relationship with money and power and ownership. So these were the workshops that are still happening. We are now starting in Europe, 22nd of January in Portugal, near Lisbon in Sintra. We will put a link later on. And there will be one in Germany, most probably near Berlin, in February, and one in Greece, also in February. And we are now developing the community. There are circles working on different things, from culture to content, education to land, operations to economy. And we actually, yesterday, we came across with, or we invented a new word, which is gamification. It means how can we create gamification of Game B, actually, in our economy. And so this is things that we are working on. We are negotiating a couple of lands, and we are aiming to buy in 2023 lands in Greece, in Portugal, Spain, Italy, and other places, and also to invite people that have already lands to join us. This is an open source community. It's important to say that. We want to invite more and more people, and each land, I think, will have the flavor and the style of the people that create it. But the first land will be most probably in Greece, very close to Athens. First phase will be about 50 tiny houses, like yurts, and a couple of community spaces which are bigger, like domes. It's by the beautiful beach, beautiful nature, and we are going to get there around this summer and start living there and building it and gradually developing the community there. And so it's a work in progress. We don't have all the answers yet, and I believe we won't have all the answers ever. But we have very good questions. We have very good people. We are working on to create a good relationship in order to realize and understand these questions, and to help every person to be part of it and participate in the way they want. And we are looking now for people to be part of it. We are calling all the pioneers, the explorers, the witches, the dragons, the entrepreneurs, the magicians, all of you guys that are listening now and feel it in your heart, and knowing that more than the words that we are talking here, you can just, it resonates with you and you feel it. And we are inviting you to be part of it. It's owned, it's led by the people that are doing it. No one is better than other, and so you are invited to be part of it. And we look for people that are designers, people that come from Web3, people that want to invest their money to help this experiment happen. people that want to live on the land, people that want to hold these workshops and courses that we are building, people that want to attend. We are inviting you. You are invited and you are welcome to come and to be part of it. So that's what's happening now. And we are not in a hurry. We are not raising money from funds or from investors that are looking to get profit. So we are not liable to any person or goal that someone is asking us. We are doing it the way we feel it should be done. And we're enjoying every moment, which is also very important. So yeah, come, you're invited.
Yeah, I want to share that my name is Arava, and I am leading the online community. And just to say that if you got to this point of listening to this conversation, then I'm pretty sure you know the feeling. You know the feeling that something isn't going right, and no matter how hard you try to play this game, you know, it's just not the right game to play. And I want to just say that this is in very early stages, and there are room for people to join. But it's also not for everybody, and it's also not for everybody at this stage. That it's still we're still figuring a lot of the things out. But if you want to help us in leading and designing and crafting, then you're welcome to. And if not, there is a Telegram group, and we will put links to different events that are happening. And feel free to follow us and join in the rhythm that is right for you. David, anything else that you feel like you wanna say before we're wrapping this?
No, I feel that this is a good conversation to start with and to hear what we are doing and to get the curiosity to hear more and to come and meet us either in Portugal, Berlin, Greece, Israel as well, of course. And you know, just feel what resonates with you. Listen to your heart. And if it calls you to come to Garden of Life, then come. That's what I'm doing.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you all for watching. See you.
Have a great day, night, wherever you are. Bye.
Bye.